This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic.
Hello, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. Every morning, it is getting cooler and cooler. Oh boy, I know the colder months are upon us, but during the day it's still warming up, and I'm very grateful for that. And I had the most satisfying weekend because I spent the morning staining my fence, not with paint, but with seal. So I guess not technically staining it, but sealing my fence. And it was so incredibly blissful and therapeutic. I don't know, there's just something about it. It's quiet. I do it first thing in the morning before the neighbors come out and walking their dogs and all that stuff. And the squirrels were running across the top of the fence, watching me while I'm sealing it. And the birds are out, and the fresh air, and the sun is rising, and I'm all blissed out. Although my hand wants a little bit of a break, so I did 3 hours, took a break. But I actually don't mind it, and I've had a couple people offer to help me, offer to do it. But I actually really enjoy doing it. So I'm going to spend the next few weekends doing that and get it done before the winter months come and the snow and all of that stuff. But we've also been having this unforecasted rain, so it won't be in the forecast. And then all of a sudden it rolls in, and it's been happening really frequently. It's very, very bizarre. I don't know what to make of it, but what are you going to do? And as the times continue to get stranger and stranger, I wanted to offer a reflection of all of the times in your life when you thought things should be occurring a certain way or things didn't go according to your plan, but it ended up working out perfectly. You can look back and say, I know that was divine intervention, divine timing, a divine plan, because my mind and my circumstances could not conceive it working out this way. This has happened so many times in my life. Recently, this is really interesting. So I had a lawn person that I had hired to do my lawn, and he started doing things unethically. He started charging me for things that he didn't ask me for first. So I just get a bill in the mail, doing things that didn't need to be done, and charging me an outlandish amount. And I don't mind paying for services, but I didn't need those services. And I started to get that feeling that he was trying to get over on me and take advantage. And so I just decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So then I started getting quotes for lawn work, and everyone was just charging astronomical rates. And I don't mind paying for the work, but I know that they're overcharging. And so I just decided I was going to do my own. It's not even that I minded doing it. It's just a time thing for me. And most of my yard is landscaped, so it's not like I have a lot of grass to mow in the first place. So in my previous home, I had a very tiny yard because my yard was xeriscaped. So I had bought this electric lawnmower that it was a plug-in with a cord, which is funny because I almost felt like I was vacuuming my yard with this cord. But I didn't mind it because it was so quiet, it was so light, and I barely had any lawn to mow. So fast forward to when I started mowing this lawn here, which is actually pretty satisfying. I'll be honest, I don't mind being outside and doing lawn work. I really don't mind. But for me, it's like, okay, so I'll do the lawn work, or I'll do the inside work, but I have to rest in between. And plus I have a business and I work and all those things. So it's working out the timing, but I get it down. I've gotten it down every year. I have it down this year. So in any case, I'm out here when my lawn is bigger. I have a bigger yard, a bigger lawn. And it looks like I'm vacuuming my yard with my big cord. And my lawnmower is just a little bit too small for this yard. However, last year, after I ended up getting rid of my lawn person and did my yard myself for the rest of the year, it was fine. It worked. It's not the most convenient. It's a little annoying dragging the cord around. And so I notice when I'm mowing my lawn, I will tell myself every single time, Susan, you need to get a different lawnmower. And I don't want a gas lawnmower. I just don't want to fool with that. You need to get a bigger lawnmower, and you need to get one that doesn't require a cord. And I tell myself this, and then I finished with the lawn and I put it up, and then I don't get the new lawnmower. I just forget about it. So I'm doing this over and over, and then here in this year. So then a couple of weekends ago, I'm dragging the lawnmower, and I noticed that the lever for the handle fell off somewhere. So I was able to rig it. I'm pretty handy, actually. I'm pretty handy. So I rig it and I'm like, yeah, I can still make it work probably through this season and then I'll get a new lawnmower. So fast forward, and it takes me a little longer because I have to empty the mulch bag more often because it's a small lawnmower and it's really not the appropriate size for the lawn that I have. Stick with me on this story. So my daughter pulls into, so the lawnmower, I put it in the garage, like in front of where she parks, and there's plenty of space, but she miscalculates and she smushed the lawnmower. So she pulled in and smushed it. And so I go to mow the lawn and it's smushed now. It's like not going to work. I mean, it's not, and I can't fix it. She smushed it. And I'm like, really? So now I have to get a new lawnmower. And I'm like, really? I really wasn't expecting to spend money on it right now. It's not that I don't have it. I hadn't budgeted for it, whatever. So I buy a new lawnmower and I get a battery operated lawnmower. And it comes in and I'm like, yeah, it seems to be just what I need. And I had bought a backup battery for it when I bought the lawnmower so I could be charging one, using one, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so then I take it out, I put it together, and the battery that came with the lawnmower does not work. It's dead. But I had already purchased a secondary one. So I just used that one. I'm able to use the lawnmower and it's fine. So I contact the company and I'm like, hey, I need a new battery. This one doesn't work. It's dead. I charged it for 2 days. There's no indicator. There's something wrong with it. So they were telling me, well, we don't have another battery for that. So we're just going to refund you the money for the whole lawnmower. And I'm like, what? What? And they were like, yeah, we can't give you a new battery. So just mail us the battery back that doesn't work. It's a big item. So we don't want you to mail the whole thing back. It'd be too expensive to ship it. So just keep the lawnmower and mail us the battery back and we'll just refund you the whole money. And I was like, Lord, thank you. Thank you so much. That worked out so perfectly. So I ended up only having the cost of a battery because I bought another replacement battery. So I don't know. I ended up spending maybe $70 for 2 batteries, but I got the whole lawnmower refunded. So it ended up working out so perfectly. And I was thinking to myself, think about all of the things that had to arrange just to serve me in that way. Just a little tiny desire. I'm using a very minuscule, tiny little example because I could go on and on about big things, how things arranged perfectly and you think something's not working out and you're frustrated and you feel like, devastated sometimes over things that don't work out. And then it all lines up and it all works out. And this happens so much in our lives. And as long as you are stepping in the light, you're following your path and you're following your intuition, you have to know that there are so many divine guides and divine angels and divine spirits and divine helpers and ancestors that are in the world with you, even though you can't see them. They're unseen and they're navigating and they're working things out and it's unfolding perfectly. And that's why it's so important to make daily conscious contact and to be in the flow as much as you can. Follow your guidance and notice your inner nudging. And follow your inner nudgings. And the work of Abraham Hicks, they came out with this CD years ago. I think it's called Getting in the Vortex, but they're short meditations. And these meditations, they say like, do the meditation, get in the flow, and then go live your life. Because a lot of times what we do is we want to be so perfectly aligned that it's really not alignment, it's more ego. So we're worried so much about getting out of alignment and what's going to happen. That's fear. So that's not, you can only be in fear or love, not both. And so we get so rigid about it that we miss the miraculous unfolding of what we came to experience in life. This world is not all easy and it's not all miraculous. When we are in the ego, we can get very defeated, we can get very frustrated, and it can be really difficult. But when you have the understanding and realization that I'm a spiritual being. I chose to come here at this time to shine my light, to serve my purpose, to be part of the puzzle piece of the world. The world is a huge puzzle piece. Have you ever done a puzzle, put together a puzzle, and then you're missing one piece? Oh my goodness, the whole thing can fall apart because that one piece that's a stabilizer is not there. You are part of the piece, the collective whole, and you're supposed to be here for this time. And we are here to transform, to light the way, to serve our point. And everyone's purpose is equally important. The other thing that happens is we get very much in the material world and we think someone's role is more important than the other, which isn't true. Everyone's role is equally important because it works together. I was just having this conversation about service workers. So, when I was first getting into the workforce, I was a server, a server for a while. I worked at fast food restaurants. I worked at a movie theater. I worked at Walmart. I worked in domestics for a little while, folding towels, putting together towels. Then I moved to the cashier. Then I was a customer service manager. And then when I was in the military, I got a second job. I worked at Arby's for a little bit. Then I worked at Kmart for a little bit. I've worked a lot. Worked a lot of jobs. And what we're seeing now is people don't want to do work that they consider to be beneath them or difficult work or not as rewarding work. And let me tell you, the janitor at the school is so valued and important. In fact, I have a friend who has a detailing company, and sometimes he has to do details and cleanups of very dark things where maybe someone died and he's got to clean up the remains of that. That job is so important and sacred. We all have an important part. Ants have a certain purpose that without them, the ecosystem would be incomplete. And everything goes together. And when you relax and understand that it's going to work out, I may make mistakes. I may feel like I've done things that I shouldn't have done. All of that is here to teach us something. It's for us to transform. It's for us to be in the flow, relax, do the work hard, focus on our goals, and stay committed. And at the same time, know that there are greater forces at play and it will all work out. And sometimes we can't see it and we don't understand it. And sometimes we can scare ourselves and make ourselves feel like it's never going to work out, but it always works out. And so think about the times in your life where you thought this was the end of the world. This isn't going to work out for me. And it did. And I could sit here for hours and go on with examples of times when I thought this isn't going to happen. It can't happen this way. And then a miracle happens and it works out. And so I just wanted to remind you, keep going. It's all going to work out. You are being guided. Your life is guided. You are protected. You are so loved and you serve a valuable purpose. You're needed and you're wanted and you're appreciated. So let's go into a healing. You can focus on your breathing. You can uncross your arms and legs and I will turn the healing on. Okay, and so it is. Oh, I wanted to let you all know that there was an issue with my website. So we switched over to a new platform and the sessions and everything are going through fine. But I have not been receiving emails. If you send an email inquiry through my website, something happened, I have not been receiving them. So if you do need to send me an email, just send it to susan@blendedinsight.com. or you could send it through blendedinsight@gmail.com. Or, as always, you can send me a message on my Instagram or Facebook. I do nothing but post little things there. I'm not very active, but I do occasionally check my messages there. So that is all I wanted to say, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week. Take care. Bye-bye.